these road trips are about seeing something when there's nothing to see. We decided to take a break from our usual home duties and take the caravan away for about 8 days. The top priority for us was relaxation. Now, I'm going to be brutally honest. There isn't too much around our hometown Townsville that we haven't already seen. Now, the first thing we did was that we left Townsville and we followed the Harvey Range Road. That's directly west of Townsville and it takes you up through the Harvey Range itself, and it's a pretty drive. Absolutely spectacular views looking down on Townsville and over to the coast. Highly recommend it if you want to take a bit of a back road, all bitumen and in pretty good condition. So we head along the Harvey Range Road and then we turn right on our way to Greenvale. This is also known as the Inland Way, from Charters Towers through to the Atherton Tablelands. Anyway, on to Greenvale, where we caught up with our son for dinner. He's working out there on the roads at the moment. And that was really quite pleasant because we stayed at the Three Rivers Hotel. It's a free camp at the back of the hotel, provided of course you patronise the hotel itself, and why not? Here we are at the Three Rivers Hotel in Greenvale. We arrived at about 1 o'clock and already it's starting to fill up with caravans. So if you want to get a spot here at the Three Rivers, you need to get here early. We then continued our journey from Greenvale to a free camp on the 8 Mile Creek. And as you travel the road, you pass the turn off to the Lind. That takes you down to places like Porcupine Gorge, Hughenden, Cobalt Gorge, the town of Ainslie, Forsyth. We weren't going that way this time. Pulled up on the 8 Mile Creek free camp and we stayed there overnight. It was a very pleasant night. The creek was still in full flow and terribly pretty. When you're off-grid camping, you come across some of the most random things. It certainly piques your curiosity. On the 8 Mile free camp, there's a pawpaw tree and it's absolutely loaded with pawpaws. It makes you wonder how on earth it got here. Was someone sitting here camping and threw out a seed? Against the odds it survived and thrived? Piques your curiosity anyway. We've heard this called grater grass. I don't think it's very good for cattle. There's a lot of it here and it's very tall. From the 8 Mile Creek free camp, we travelled further north, eventually deciding to stay at Pinnarendi Station Stay. It's not too far past the 40 Mile Scrub National Park. This is the first time we've ever stayed here. In fact, it was the first time we were ever made aware of it. We decided to stay at Pinnarendi Station Stay for 4 nights. We had 2 meals here at the cafe, which included the famous pizza night, absolutely delicious. Great atmosphere with all of the fellow travellers. And then we also had the barramundi night, which was delicious also. Barramundi, straight from the Gulf of Carpentaria, comes from Corumba. Beautifully cooked, well presented. Highly recommend it. famous for a number of things. So now we're going up for lunch. Ron would like to try their Reuben sandwich. It's quite a foggy morning here at Pinnarendi Station Stay this morning. Beautiful, in fact. Have a look at this. Wow. Very different to what we're used to anyway. So today we've decided to go on this Miners Way, something that I saw on Facebook. The trouble is, I can't find that feed anymore, so I actually don't remember where it is. So, was it Mount Garnet, Ron?
I think so.
Okay.
Wasn't that bloke talking about something shoe?
Oh, Ravenshoe.
I think she.
Your tourists last night at dinner were funny. They were referring to the town of Ravenshoe as Ravenshoe. I guess it's a mistake anybody could make. Anyway. You would think by the name Mount Garnet, it might be famous for garnets. Oh, well, here you go. It was a major mining town due to the discovery of copper and garnets. Well, Ron, I think we should get going, perhaps heading towards Mount Garnet and Ravenshoe. Hopefully there's an information centre in Ravenshoe. Better put some shoes on. I've seen some big cockroaches in my time, but that one is huge. Okay, Maramwa Swamp. We misread, or we didn't read the instructions, but essentially it says you travel down Maramwa Swamp Road and you get to a set of yellow gates and you go through the yellow gates. Well, we didn't do that, did we? We turned and went that way. Anyway, we're back at the yellow gates, so here we go. Hey, off we go to Maramwa Swamp. I think somebody's gone through those gates in a vehicle at some stage. Anyway, difficult to open.
Well, it's a COD gate.
What does that mean?
Carry or drag.
Oh, I see a lot of water anyway ahead of us. Oh, what is that smell? Oh, that'd be it. You parked right on a poo. Well, this doesn't look very promising. Well, this is very nice. And would you believe there's a black swan on the water? So we didn't end up finding the Miners Way. We called in at Mount Garnet and they told us that they had never heard of the Miners Way. So instead we went on to Ravenshoe, where we had an absolutely delicious pie at the local bakery. It's a very pretty town, Ravenshoe. What yummy stuff have we got here?
Well, that peas and butter.
Yeah.
Must be.
And on the way back, we've decided to pull in at the Millstream National Park and we're going to go and have a look at the Millstream Falls. Looks like it's an easy walk. 340 metres. Bitumen too, which is easy. Very pretty. Dry woodland apparently. On the western side of Atherton Tablelands. Oh, she's starting to slope. How gorgeous is this moss on the rocks? Beautiful. Very beautiful. That's our walk to the Millstream Falls over and done with. I think it's probably time that we headed home. Well, guess what we've just seen? We've seen a sign to the historic mining trail. It's the Herberton Irvine Bank Road along Silver Valley Road. We're just going to turn up here and have a bit of a squiz. We found the other side of the historic mining trail. It's just near the pub in Mount Garnet. You turn left if you're coming from the west. Anyway, the bloke at the info centre didn't know anything about it, so anybody wanting to give it a go, well, this is the way to do it. It joins up with the other one that we found at Wild River. We're back. Today we're off to Mount Surprise. There's O'Brien's Creek fossicking area where you can go and find some gemstones. We also have a job to do today. We've got to empty our... Anyway, got to go to a dump point. And I don't know, what will be a surprise at Mount Surprise? Who knows? Morning, boys.
I'm the boy.
Oh. Yeah. Morning, boy. Morning, girl. What's happening here? Cattle in the yards. Okay, here's something really quite random. As you're travelling along the Savannah Way, we've just turned towards Undara National Park. In fact, we're in the national park now. But curiously, on the side of the road, there's a mango tree. Where there's dry woodland, up pops a mango tree. And you wonder why that happens. Well, rumour has it that mango tree is doing so well because its taproot goes all the way down to a lava tube. That's the story we were told anyway. Quite curious, really. Just notice how cute is this? Tiny swing. Wow, it's doing so well. When you compare the countryside around it. We're on the Golf Development Road on our way to Mount Surprise, and we're passing the turn-off to the Undara lava tubes, or the national park. It is 38 kilometres to Mount Surprise and 92 kilometres to Mount Garnet. Yeah, so the lava tubes are in fact on the Golf Development Road, which is known as the Savannah Way. And if ever you fancy going and seeing something spectacular, then definitely take the time to go to the lava tubes. We haven't done it this time because it's just a little bit expensive, and we've already been. In fact, we've been a couple of times because it's our local region. But we highly recommend it. Well, here we are this morning having to do a job. We've had to travel 71 kilometres to do this. Well, here's an obvious one. When you're travelling and you go to a dump point and you find yourself in some very remote places where there's very little water, always carry hand sanitizer with you. At least you can be assured that your hands are going to be clean afterwards. Here you go, Ron. The landscape of Mount Surprise in Georgetown has been forming for at least 1.7 billion years. The broad plains and isolated hills are remnants of the ancient Australian crust, some of the oldest rock in Australia. Well, we've just turned on to O'Brien Creek Road and we're on a bit of a mission to find the gemfields, the O'Brien Creek gemfields. So we'll see how we go. Hopefully we make it. It's 40 kilometres from Mount Surprise Creek. And I noticed the sign on the side of the road. And look, how random is this? It's an old World War II airfield. That would have been where the windsock was. So we've just gone past O'Brien's Creek campground, and now we're on our way to Gemfields. Have a look at this. So we've arrived at O'Brien's Creek fossicking area. Doesn't look much, I must admit, but time will tell. Go and explore. Really sure what we're looking for. Like, there's plenty of crystals and things like that. Perhaps this is what they're looking for. Oh no, that's just glass. Beer bottle. Quite possibly from that beer bottle just there. I think I found some. It's a little bit like boys playing in the dirt, isn't it? Maybe it's something like that. I don't know. It's yellow. I think topaz is supposed to be yellow, isn't it?
I think so.
Oh, look at this gorgeous little swimmings. Could go swimming. Oh, wow. Okay. This is where it all happens, eh? Talking serious gear here. After finishing at O'Brien's Creek fossicking area, we take the 40 kilometres back to Mount Surprise and stop for lunch. Mount Surprise Bakery. When we came through, it was chockers with people. So here we are at about 12:30, 1 o'clock, and there's only one pie left. It's going to be a bit hard to share. We'll give it a go. Look at that. I found the trunk. Well, our time away is up, and we're heading back home following the same track. This time we camp overnight under a Telstra tower before we finally make our way back to our home in Townsville. Thank you so much for joining us on this trip. I think the take-home message here is that you don't always have to travel very far to enjoy the caravanning lifestyle. Even your backyard has some very interesting things to see. Taking it slow, enjoying the relaxation. Don't hesitate to leave a comment. Hit the like button, and of course, if you haven't already, subscribe. We really do appreciate that you like to share what we do. Thank you.